Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more Summit 7 American Qualifier action. We're just getting into the first few days of this qualifier, starting with 8 teams, of course, and hoping to whittle that down all the way to just one team that is going to qualify and fly out here to hang out with the chillest house, the chillest, coolest group of people, the hottest dudes, and yeah, everything you would love, Lacoste. So I'm looking forward to the experience.
I'm still not there. Don't call it the
Okay,
house
okay.
with the coolest and hottest dudes.
Not yet.
So,
Okay, not till you're there. So.
Not yet. Yeah. So it will be in the next month or so.
So we got a lot of teams here. They got to get their Lacoste, but on the dinner menu today is been NP versus SG at the moment. So NP now already with a 1-game advantage, looking very, very good. We got to see if SG can take this to a game freaking 3.
Remaining.
Well, I hope so. I always cheer for game number 3 as well. I just want to see some good Dota as much as I can, and that's why I cheer for SG this game. I'm not biased. I'm just saying it. I always cheer for the most Dota that there is.
Yeah, you want the best Dota, and that's why you come here to cast American Dota. For sure.
Yes, exactly. That's why I came.
Perfect.
I don't want to cast European or Chinese or anything. I just want to cast. I want to specialize in American Dota.
I can hear the grin as you say that. So here we are with MP.
Well, no, I'm not kidding. You know, NA Dota is stronger. Not NA, just American Dota, South and North American Dota is getting better as time goes by. And for the regions, I want to see team from Africa as well. I'm not being sarcastic. Most of the time, I'm sarcastic. But right now I'm not. I want to see the scene grow there. I hope there's.
I want a Japanese team to also come out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We need more Australian representatives. I want to see a Ethiopian Dota team happen. I want to see it all. I want Dota to become the most global game ever. You know.
Yeah, Antarctica Dota team.
Antarctica
mind
Dota
blow.
Team.
Yeah. Or Milky Way, like.
Milky Way.
Yeah, Uranus Dota team.
Remaining.
Sponsored by Charmin or something.
Sponsored by Seva toilet paper.
Radiant team.
That will be an interesting division to cover in the future. But the American Dota has been a treat in itself. SG obviously looking to change things up for game number 2, and they're drafting. MP have been given a lot of their comfort picks. We saw the first 1-2 punch of their Crystal Maiden tree in game number 1. This time they will not be given the same. They banned themselves a Ricky and an Undying on MP side. SG get rid of the Wisp and the Bristleback, allowing for them to sneak in a Crystal Maiden Lina, while Team MP, continue to kind of flip the script. You take out Crystal Maiden, we're going to get a Warlock, and then they get the Abaddon as the follow-up. So there's going to be some difference.
SG want to flip coins, so they decided to get a first pick. So they wanted to go for Crystal Maiden, first pick. Instant pick by Team NP, Warlock, and Abaddon. Abaddon counters that Crystal Maiden. Hard removes the slow, removes the root. On the other hand, SG goes for Lina. Lina benefits so much from that arcane aura, and one of their signature heroes for mid as well. We saw how good they play around it. I'm surprised that people don't build Lina into more of a late game carry hero. They decide to go for one item like Daedalus or Bloodthorn, but they can switch to it. I think even earlier in the stage, try to go for at least get a Crystallis earlier on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be a bit
Brown Boots
situational.
Crystallis.
Maybe in those situations where they feel like they lack that late game DPS, we could see Lina's considering more of the ramping up into the late game DPS sooner. But yeah, like you were saying, for the most part, Lina's have been in a pretty good spot, being able to be hefty spellcasters and being able to dish out heavy bits of burst, which will come in handy against a lineup like MP have, with Abaddon being there, of course, and then maybe the opportunity to take Warlock out of the fight before he makes any sort of impact. We saw the damage that MP were able to do against SG in the previous game, taking out a lot of their team fight factors early. Maybe SG are hoping to be able to use the burst of Lina to do the same here, but MP move themselves into some fat targets now. They get Ogre as their second support, one who is not worried about eating a lot of spell casting and happy to kind of soak up a lot of damage for his team, and now is going to be one to provide that ridiculous bloodlust for whomever is going to be showing up in the back end of this draft.
Yeah, they're saving both mid and carry hero. But look at that little fellow, little blue fellow, Ogre Magi.
Look at him.
Does he count as a one person or two person? If you're buying an airplane ticket,
Well, he's
what do you
big.
have to? Yeah.
He probably
Plus
would
he's
need two
big,
tickets
plus
because
he has two heads because of the body size.
just because he's just obese.
Dire team pick.
He's seriously obese with those two heads, so I would imagine he is a two-seat flight kind of a guy, middle and window.
Yeah, I could see Ogre fighting against each other, who's sitting next to the window, even though they have
10
one
seconds
seat
remaining.
maybe.
You have to pick like which side of the plane. Okay, Monkey King comes
5
out, and he was actually
seconds remaining.
what I was going to bring up before is I was surprised both teams were kind of looking totally past those
Reserve
four-position
time.
fighters like Monkey King or the Earth Spirit again. But SG not going to be going for the Earth Spirit this time. They'll get Monkey King instead as one to kind of, wreak havoc in the early game a bit. But he is awesome to have against Sabat in the laning phase. Do you think that is going to be his position in the early game, just kind of using the ridiculous right kicks to like zone back Abaddon, or what would you like to see the Monkey King do in the early game?
Well, I think that's correct. With his third
Radiant
spell, he
team
can
pick.
just trade clicks against the Baron, and the Baron can't stay on the lane. I mean, it's enough to have a Monkey King on that lane, and Crystal Maiden can be in the jungle, just get level 2, level 3, and then she can move and try to get a gank on either
10
mid or on
seconds
bottom lane.
remaining.
So Monkey King is gonna be enough, unless it's a Baron and
seconds
Ogre Magi
remaining.
lane, which could happen because Warlock is a
Reserve
strong
time.
lane support, can handle. They still don't have an offlane
Dire
hero for
team
SG,
back.
but I'm pretty sure Warlock +1 can handle whatever comes to the lane.
That would seem likely here. I'm trying to rattle my brain between a couple of the prominent offlane options that could still work in this case. Now, when you consider the Ember Spirit, you might need to get
10
even
seconds
more
remaining.
lockdown. You have Crystal Maiden and Lena, which is great, but
5
I'm curious to
seconds
see if they want to
remaining.
kind of put a bit more on top of that. They also don't have any kind of frontliners. I know it's kind of
Reserve
the
time.
cliche thing to say, like, we need a tank, but it does feel like SG don't really have any sort of meat on their team here, so
10
they
seconds
will
Yeah,
need
I'll
an offlaner who fills a lot of spots,
Yeah, I'll say it
5
again.
seconds
Even
remaining.
when seeing 4 heroes from SG,
Radiant team back.
these are paper heroes. All 3 heroes, they die so quickly.
Yeah.
Don't have any escape mechanism. Besides Fever, who's pretty hard to catch, but all these 3 heroes are kind of squishy. Yeah, they need something
10
like
seconds
really super
remaining.
tanky big on that off lane.
5 seconds
I don't know, something like
remaining.
a Centaur would help be that frontliner and a way to kind of get away from trouble just in case, or we've seen Clockworks pop out. It's going to be
Radiant
interesting
team
to see
pick.
here, something that can help provide a bit of the lockdown for the Ember Spirit. MP find Fear in the Nyx Assassin, which would have been a nice pick, so I like that ban.
Yeah.
And Medusa also going to be taken off the table here, which could have been a part of the reason why
10
they even banned the
seconds
Nyx. So
remaining.
you could see why SG would consider banning out that Deuce at the end.
5 seconds
Well,
remaining.
Nyx Assassin is great against Abaddon, especially in late game and mid game. You can't cast any
Reserve
spells when he casts Mana Burn. It's great against Ember Spirit with Spiked Carapace, so it was an obvious choice. They need an offlaner. Nyx was the best one.
So what's the second best one is really the question.
Well,
maybe that
you were
SG
saying
thinking about.
Centaur. It might be a Centaur. It might be a Legion Commander for the lockdown for Ember Spirit, which they lack.
Yeah, Legion Commander definitely could help
It
hold that
removes
Ember.
root from Ember, removes slow. It's good.
10 seconds remaining.
Omni Knight is going to be the choice
Dire
here.
team
Free
pick.
BKB available for the Weaver in case he gets a bit of trouble. You have Guardian Angel now. You don't get that extra bit of stun, but I don't know. Maybe in the laning phase they feel that Omni could hold his own against the Warlock +1.
Well, he can trade some
10
hits.
seconds
What I
remaining.
said before, that their heroes are squishy. With Omni Knight pick, they're not so much squishy anymore.
Yeah, the Omni Knight for sure adds a lot of durability to their team, which they were lacking quite a bit up to that point, so that certainly fills that void. But the real void pickup is going to be the Faceless one that's grabbed up here from NP at the end. Envy had already played this, I believe, yesterday. and time dilation is going to be a real pain in the ass for almost all of the heroes on SG. I love this Void pick, to be honest with you. It's a bit awkward because, you know, Abaddon and Ogre and has a hard time participating outside of a Chrono. Ember's going to have to stick with Slights, but overall it adds even more team fight to MP's lineup, and I like it. What do you think about Envy kind of rounding things out with the Void?
I love the Void pick.
10 seconds remaining.
Surprised people are actually picking it. It's kind of a forgotten
5
hero,
seconds remaining.
but it's still good. And with his first spell and Ember Spirit plus Abaddon, I don't think SG has enough control. They have Lina stun and Root from Crystal Maiden, and that's it. Against all these heroes, I don't think it's gonna be enough. SG has enough sustain in a fight, durability, as you mentioned, but they don't have the lockdown for all these heroes. I mean, Faceless Void also is gonna build probably Purge at one point of the game to remove the Guardian Angel. It can't remove Repel anymore, but still good when you use a Chrono. Gives you that extra burst damage for Void.
Let's break down the money in the towers, which is going to be none. I don't know. Maybe in Captain's mode they just don't do this. That was a waste of time.
But last game I saw the Dire Tower seemed stronger and bigger. Let's check it. It looked scarier.
Oh, it did. You're right.
Look at it.
That thing was wrong. It is. That's a mighty expensive tower they're showing off right there. Certainly much more intimidating than the little dinky tower I see here by SG. So we can rule out that MP has the more scarier, intimidating tower, and therefore take an early lead in game number 2. I don't know. That's my pro analysis on the matter, Lacoste. But let's get into the real game at hand here. It's game number 2 with MP up 1 game already. They win this one, and they have secured the highest seeded position for Group A in the playoffs. SG will not be out of the qualifier running, but they will find themselves possibly in the lower bracket to start things out in the playoffs. And if you want a decent running to be able to make it to qualify for the LAN, starting the upper bracket would be probably the best thing you could ask for. So
yeah, you think so? It's better to play.
It's better
upper
to be
bracket,
in
right?
the upper bracket than the lower bracket, Lacoste. Okay. Don't question me.
I love you, not because you're a smart guy, like the.
Not because I'm
just
smart.
Well, you're sexy, you're smart, you're good looking, you're
I'll take those.
etc. Bromance.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So we're talking a lot about everything that's going for MP with the lineup they have and the wonderful last pickup of the Void. What are the strengths to SG's lineup? Is there any way they can fabricate a good laning presence and maybe, prove to be a lot of trouble to MP and not even allow them to become a powerhouse lineup?
Well, their heroes are strong early game. Lina, Weaver, mid lane, and bottom lane should be one. Especially with good Monkey King and Crystal Maiden rotations. So if they win an early game, they can maybe try to control the mid game. But overall, I think MP has better lineup. It's easier to play those heroes. Abaddon, Warlock.
Yeah.
Kind of easy.
It's a lot what we saw in game 1. They kind of just coasted.
Yeah.
They just went into autopilot, cruise control, whatever you want to call it, and it felt like they were just kind of able to play more of a greedier start to the game and just take the advantage of the laning setup they put themselves into here. Whereas this, we might see MP show a bit more, more of the aggressive flexing here. With the dual lane setup and Owie being down here, he's going to be poking and really messing with Tavo and as much as possible. So we're going to see MP kind of just be a bit more intrusive than we saw in the previous game. Certainly in this bottom lane. For everywhere else, they might kind of play things a bit just safer.
No. AUI season opening on mid, Lina.
Uh-oh.
Going back to Shrine.
Yeah,
oh, nice body block. Nice body block.
Ow! Not going to be able to get it in time. Almost able to stop her from touching the Sweet Waters. But she does make it there. It's an early commitment to use a mid lane Shrine, and she's going to be walking back to the lane with half of her life. Overall, it is a loss for SG. Very close for MP to even walk away better off with the first blood on the mid lane, but Owie already putting in work in the mid lane.
Yeah, AUI bought so much time for Fata right now. He's on the same CS as Lina. That all happened because Lina was saving up for bottle. He had the healing self queued up, didn't want to bring it. if he had the salve there,
This'll
it
come
would have
in
been a different
handy.
story.
Warlock's going to be able to grab up
Radiant's
the bounty
bottom
on his
tower
side.
is
It
under
looked like
attack.
Tava was heading over, but obviously is not going to be able to contest it here. Over on the bottom neck of the woods, we have King RD springing into action.
fuel for
But
my
MSS has got the
fire.
shield up. You know, we were expecting him to be able to kind of zone back MSS as much as possible. I'm looking at a level 2.5 MSS with the help of Owie from the start. He's been able to get that level 2 and now is not nearly as threatened as he would have been. And we got to check mid lane. It's already Owie back in action. He had popped a Clarity and he has mana to work with once again. It starts clubbing it home against ADR and it's going to reward them with the first blood. But look at this rotation from Cat. Does give him the Frostblight, but that's going to be the end of it. It's MP who strike first.
Yeah, AY with those body blocks again. This is why Ogre needs to buy two seats in a plane. It's so big, easy to body block. Even body blocked Fata when he was running back. Shrine committed. Level 2, Ogre Magi right now.
ADR getting back in, 17-2, still winning the CS game, but obviously losing his life doesn't make things really any better. Howie will take his leave and look to hope for new opportunities possibly in the bottom part of the map here. We'll quickly touch base with what's happening up in the northern part here. Tavo and Envy going toe-to-toe, mano y mano. Envy 19-1, Tavo 11-1. As he gets to level 3, level 4. How would you like to see things for the Omni continue to pan out here? For now, he's fighting
This'll
good
come in
levels
handy.
and a little bit of XP and some last hits, but how long does he hang here? Where do you go from here?
Well, he's just gonna try to get as much levels as he can. He's not gonna rotate anywhere. He has Arcane Aura, so he's good to go. Against Warlock, he can trade some hits with that Poor Man's Shield, which he bought first item. He can sustain on the lane, plus he has a Shrine there, so he's gonna get a lot of
Dire's middle
levels.
tower is
After
under
that, he
attack.
can get a TP if they decide to dive on mid, help mid, maybe turn the fight around. Bottom lane shouldn't be a problem. Pretty impossible to kill that Weaver if he doesn't overextend.
And he turns to lane. Envy's going to shrug off any sort of healing damage. And
Dire's middle
back
tower
they go,
is
but
under attack.
Cat's rotated in. Pops Envy with a freeze. He had already used his leap. So he has 3 more seconds before he's going to be able to get it off, but the heal's going to be there from Pi. Even an upheaval will come out. Just enough time for Envy to be able to walk
Warlock.
away. But they do turn their attention onto poor little Pi. And he may be going down. First blood for MP in typical fashion, but he is there going to help Envy in what could have been a possible troubling situation. I don't know. Would you think if Envy would have lived without the help of Pi there?
Yeah, he was good. There was a time walk. 1 second, he had stick charges ready. He had a
It's-
healing salve.
Kind of tough to gauge. I think just SG made a good call the second they saw Pi step in with the heal. They're just like, let's just kill him. We'll definitely get that over a potential time walking void. So good heads up play from SG to quickly change targets together and be able to get themselves a kill on the board.
Yeah, that only is so fat right now. 18 CS has enough gold to buy mana boots. He's gonna be pretty hard to take down right now.
He'll double back for it soon enough, I'd imagine here. While Crystal Maiden is farming the jungle nearby. Are they committing
Radiant's
for this?
middle tower
Tavo
is
already
under
popped the
attack.
heal, but yeah, that looks to be the end of it here. Cat tries to rotate in. Let's go ahead and hop across seas, if you will. Fata, who had recently grabbed up a haste rune, still bottles it right now. I don't imagine there's going to be a new setup potential here for MP at the moment. Owie rotating about, but they're not finding any sort of easy targets here. HFN is not going to be an easy target to gank in this lane, so we could see the Weaver left to his own devices for a while.
Yeah, Abaddon, level 5.5. 6 minutes in, he's getting a lot of levels, especially with that Iron Talon. Farming a lot, 16 CS. Pretty much same as Omni Knight, a bit less, but still that was 1 kill in favor. For Omni Knight, they're gonna go back to Shrine, heal up. Level 5 Omni with level 3 Purification. They need Ember Spirit there to kill that Omni Knight if he doesn't overextend.
Looks like Owie is still invading here. He drops down a nice deep Ops ward, and they look to converge on the King RD. A monkey caught behind the tower. Fata looks to go in. He's putting that haste to work, but he gets stunned up and then blasted with a Laguna. ADR is going to be able to get finally a bit of revenge as they get the finish. Pi takes down King RD, but the Fata takedown is a bit more juicy for SG.
Good rotations from NP, but also good call from SG.
Nice
Tavo, level 6 almost. I'll just say it. I think Tavo is the best player in SG. I mean, that guy, especially on SK during the Kiev Major, I mean,
Dire's
really
top
wow.
tower is under attack.
Definitely putting in
That's-
a lot of work here and continues to do the same. Midas is going to be on the agenda for him. And mid lane, a deep dive committed for Pi
Dire's
here.
middle tower is under
Monkey's
attack.
King commitment with the setup from Lina, something we saw plenty of from DAC, continues to work here for SG, but now Lina could be in a bit of trouble. Fata has decided to jump in. Nice slow though, does come out from Cat. Fata leaping on forward with the Remnant. Now eating some right clicks from King RD. Might be in a bit of trouble, but he does get locked down from the chains. Fata's to the low ground, but here comes HFN. They're going to be able to get the takedown. Ember goes down twice in a row. HFN grabs up the bounty for Pi. Pi's going to get stunned up, and here comes SG. Can they get another takedown? MSS does step in, gets off a nice shield. Keeps Pi alive for now. Ooh, borrowed time's going to get popped. And
Yeah,
MSS
he didn't skill it. He was just saving a point, and there was a threaten to him, so he just skilled it, and it turned on automatically.
Well, that was definitely a bit of an awkward trade right there, one that works out the better for SG. This all starts, of course, with them making a hard commitment onto Pi, but when Fata rotates in, he quickly finds himself in a lot of trouble. So SG definitely pushing things early, 4-2.
Yeah, I love when there's a 3-man shower shrine, plus they kill an ancient creep stack. Maiden is level 5 right now, pretty high for 5.5 for 9 minutes. She was involved in 2 kills. Level 3 Arcane Aura helps Linas with farming those lane and jungle so fast.
We get our bottom lane matchup once again, the Weaver and the Abaddon one-on-one. As I do say that though, Owie does show himself once again, but of course HFN is going to be able to quickly run away from trouble. There wasn't even any detection there. It's just kind of forcing him out and away from the lane and allowing MSS to continue his journey forward. Looking to go for phase boots,
This'll
but
come in
what
handy.
else would you like to see the Abaddon pick up in this particular game? Anything from the Vlads to the Radiance? Anything in particular you think would fit the bill a bit better?
No, probably a casual. If maybe he wants to go for Vlad's to get some bonus armor for against that Weaver, and there are 2 melee carry heroes, Ember Spirit and Void, so it's a pretty common pickup. Void is going for Hand of Midas, so I want to see what his next item is gonna be.
Ooh, Tavo manages to move in and get a hold of Bounty Root, gets a hard shot onto Fata, but Envy is going to be able to commit the Chronosphere, and him and Fata will be able to finish off the farmed Omni Knight. Getting a bit greedy there, going for the bounty. I don't know if he had expected that an Ember Spirit was going to be there, but he finds himself in a 2-on-1 and does lose.
Yeah, that is a good chrono from Void, cashing him on really on the edge so Ember can hit. If Tavo maybe tried to juke it, he could have tried to run on the other side, but that's like 1% chance to
It's like
do
an
it right.
instant reaction, and
Yeah.
he might not even figure that the Chrono was going to be committed, but now they are hunting for a Chrono man themselves. It's Envy
Come
caught
on,
within the
sis,
trees.
let's
He's
get
going to
this
go
over with.
for the leap and go for the TP. It looks like the chase won't be there. SG will let that one go and maybe decide to turn this into a bit of a tier 1 bit of pressure, but you could see MP do the same themselves in their own mid lane. Now we're rotating over here at the bottom. HFN
Dire's top
continues
tower
to
is
farm
under
up, still
attack.
neck and neck. Him and Lina take the top net worth.
Dire's
Fata's also
structures
right
are
there, so again the net worth is only slightly favoring
Radiant's
SG at
bottom
this
tower
moment in
is
time.
under attack. Dire's top tower is
Yeah,
under
SG
attack.
in a lead. Well, the Crystal Maiden auras give them that early lead. Oh, good.
Oh,
Never mind.
Dire's
Yeah,
top
he-
tower
They don't
is
want to
under
commit.
attack.
thought about it, it looked like, but decided to pull off. Now it's just HFN stalking any stragglers from trying to make it away, but they all hit their TPs and piece the hell out of there. Top lane, it's Tavo again. He is up in arms with Fata
Dire's
a bit.
middle
He will
tower
have to
is
do the
under
self-repel. And walk himself out, but ooh, heavy remnants forward that were overcommitted. Tavo walks back and blasts him with a heal. See you later. That was, he just
Dire's top
unloaded
tower
everything he
has
had,
fallen.
and it just fell flat on his
Dire's
face.
structures are fortified.
It happens. But
The
Tavo
heal
gets
was
that
ready.
one, and
Dire's middle
SG
tower
gets the
has
mid
been
lane tier
denied.
1.
Tavo, level 10, Midas finished, got the tier 1 tower on top, and got that 60 gold per minute.
Chrono from Envy here,
Dire's
another
middle
nice
tower
one.
is under
Cat
attack.
walks into it. Uh-oh, it's the Crystal Maiden factor. And now a Rock even going to be committed. With this, they can take down the 2, and
Dire's
they can
top
turn
tower
this into
is
that
under
official
attack.
tier 1 push down the mid lane. The meantime, though, it does look like HFN was able to get a solo pick. Oh, no, there was Monkey King assistance there, but they are able to take MSS as a counterplay themselves in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure Rock was needed there to commit it. Ogre had his spells ready, but still they didn't want to
Dire's
risk it.
bottom
They
tower is under
wanted
attack.
to take as much gold as they can. I mean, Warlock is farming with his golem right now, so it's all goody.
Yeah, not able to turn it into a push, but he's finding his way to kind of make the rest of that golem work. But I
Dire's
mean,
bottom
MP, if they're not
tower has
pushing
fallen.
tier 1s, I don't think they're too nervous right now. It is SG who kind of hold the net worth advantage at the moment, but you can see by the items picked up. But you know, Midas again here on Envy, and a Midas to come here for MSS. This is another lineup where they're going to be happy to kind of play that farm game a bit. And I don't know if we're going to be seeing them kind of get too objective heavy for at least a little bit longer. I don't know if you share the
I
same
don't think
thoughts
they
or
want
not.
to. Yeah, I don't think they want to rush anything with their lineup. They're pretty confident going into late game, especially with Void, Baron, Warlock, and Ember Spirit. These are all heroes that scale well, especially with Bloodlust.
Refuse gold given.
Yeah, I can't forget the Bloodlust is also a very nice tool for them to have here. What's this? Top lane, a bit of a man fight here between Envy and Tavo. Brothers in arms, sharing a bit of a hammer fight, but it is Tavo who's going to fend off Envy for now. The
Look
Tavo
at
factor in these
Tavo's
fights
goal.
also is going to be huge. A big Guardian Angel could be a mighty game changer here, so I don't really know who wins when these 5-on-5 fights break out. It's been obviously a bit of a tough start for Fata in this game, so his Ember needs a bit more time, a bit more loving, so I might say that SG definitely have a bit of the upper hand right now, and they're going to be looking to flex it here possibly onto Envy in the top lane. One more second, he has a Chrono up if he needs to use it defensively, but can they blast him down in time with a Laguna? Yes, they can.
Good stun from 4DR, so patient, just waiting, canceling it 5 times, just to
Dire's
using it on the
structures are
very
fortified.
edge, just to stun him on that creep he was trying to get. Oh, that's a ballsy TP.
Yeah, there's still some help nearby from SG here. They're immediately going to get MSS to pop his borrowed time. And they seem to be still hanging around for now. Pai's rotating over. He's got Chaotic Offering up right now. It just came off cooldown. But again, there's that Tavo Guardian Angel here. Who's going to get what off first? If a fight's to break out,
Dire's
I think
bottom
SG
tower
are just going
is
to
under
collectively
attack.
grab the little bit of extra money within the NP jungle and make their exit.
Yeah, I can see Tavo looking at the Weaver right now in the eyes, saying, "Look at me, I'm the carry now." 7.5k net worth, and doesn't seem like he's stopping.
Is a monster. He goes for the blink, so you know, Omni always has unfortunately that problem where he's just not very mobile. His Guardian Angel feels like it's got the tiniest range to work with, and you know, you feel like when the big fights break out, he's not able to kind of be in there to get off everything he would like. But Blink Daggers, Aether Lenses, whatever, these will help. Midas will help him build even further past that. And SG continue their stampede down this top
Dire's
lane.
top tower is under
Judging
attack.
how much gold he got, I'm
Radiant's
surprised
bottom
that he
tower
didn't
is under
actually
attack.
switch to kind of a carry mode with Radiance up.
Radiant structures
It's
are
good against
fortified.
Void, you can't
Dire's
get
top
hit,
tower is under
and after
attack.
Radiance you even farm
Radiant's
even more
bottom
faster
tower
with
is
that
under
talent,
attack.
60 gold per minute, and that early hand of Midas. So he might actually try to go for it after this blink. He had 3k
Dire's
gold, could
top
easily
tower
get it.
is under attack.
We'll see if
Dire's
that's what he
top
decides to
tower
go
has
for.
fallen.
The tier 2 takedown in the top lane will help him get there that much faster. And SG will make the full rotation all the way
Radiant's
down and
bottom
through the
tower
mid
is
lane.
under
They're looking to
attack.
punish NP now for
Double
playing this
damage
greedy
empowers
play
me.
style, committing in for the Midases. We know Midases are at their worst just after you pick
Radiant's
them up
bottom tower has
when
fallen.
you're trying to build up for that next big item. So this is SG's window of time to do the most work they can across the map here. And they're not going to be looking to let up. For now, MP split the difference across the map. They give
Dire's
Fodder the
middle
bottom
tower
lane. They
is
give
under attack.
Envy rather the opponent's jungle. And they're going to bide their time as long as they can.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They just took tier 2 tower top
Dire's
and
middle
doesn't seem
tower
like they're
is under
stopping.
attack.
Meanwhile, Fata just split pushing with that
Radiant
BOTs and
structures are
double
fortified.
damage. So he can do a lot of work.
Purified.
This tier 2 is also going to be taken down. It looks like really no contention at all.
Dire's
And
middle
Fata
tower
still
is
pushing
under
their way
attack.
through this bottom lane.
Radiant's
Looks like
bottom
Fata
tower
has just
is
stepped
under
out.
attack. Dire's
Still hanging
middle
around
tower
bottom.
has fallen.
And that tower is done for. So now moving their way up. SG were before at
Time
what,
is
4K net worth advantage. Now up to a 6K. Not super significant, but again, that's because NP have been able to kind of continue to farm in the meantime. Ooh, they pinged
they
out and
need-
spotted Envy. Monkey King could head over here. Do they have enough to stop him in his tracks? Oh, Freezing Field with the stun on top of it. Oh, the RNG! Not quite enough burst from the Freezing Field. But they get the heal. King RD gets hit with the heal on the tree coming out from Tavo, and Envy gets dropped. He is out of this one. Nice pick.
Yeah, during the first game we talked a little about the build on Crystal Maiden. Usually Crystal Nova is so much better this game. Frostbite beats it because of the Void. He can't time walk out of the root, and for Ember Spirit he also can't get out. So it's time to max it this game.
Definitely. Two different approaches now where MV has been kind of taken advantage of. Adjustments are going to be necessary here. SG now moving in pretty deep here. We're seeing HFN kind of even take away the jungle now with MP. He has his own diffusal already picked up and is looking to move on forward into what probably is a Manta. So he has a Yasha and Q. So nothing really defensive coming out from the Weaver. We're not seeing the Lincolns, no BKB as of yet. Seems like he's not really threatened to be, you know, locked down and doesn't have to worry about too much defensively.
There's nothing to remove Lincolns if he goes. There's Ogre Stun and Ignite, and that's it. I mean, you're not gonna build Lincolns for that.
Yeah.
You can buy what Chinese players do on Weaver, especially Burning in this kind of situations. He doesn't go for Manta style. He goes for safer build. It's a BKB, which gives you more mobility. It's kind of a safer choice, gives you so much more damage. Manta doesn't provide you that much. I mean, you can get out of the root from Ember Spirit Searing Chains, and that's it. I mean, it's some
Invisibility.
damage, but I don't think that's enough. It costs so much, so in my opinion, BKB is a better choice.
Mid lane, looked like Fado was stunned down a bit, but is able to remnant away before any sort of heavy burst follow-up is going to be there. Fada has his Blade Mail right now, but he has a Radiance
Radiant's
actually
top
queued
tower
up
is
on
under
his
attack.
Ember Spirit at the moment. I don't see that very often, unless I haven't been tuned into a lot of more recent Ember games, Lacoste. I don't see Radiances on Embers very often.
Radiant's
Well,
top tower
it's
has
good
fallen.
against Weaver and let's say Lina because of the spells. I mean, he can go in, deal as much damage as he can, try to get out, but if it's needed, he will switch to Maelstrom if he wants to
Dire's bottom
damage the
tower
fight.
has
If
fallen.
SG decides to push right now, he will have to
Radiant's
switch.
middle tower is under attack.
All right, here comes SG. Now, you were saying possibly Tavo could kind of segue himself into more of a core carry position with his build, but he opted for a pipe, which just kind of says that SG are, I don't know, is it saying they're looking to end this? Is it saying they're looking to take fights? What does a pipe say besides the fact that Omni's looking to kind of get tanked?
Yeah, it says we want to fight, we want to take as much objectives as we can, try to push, secure Roche. It's easy to take Roche with a pipe as well. I mean, not Roche, you don't have any damage, but it secures you from the fear if any team's gonna come. He can't get bursted down by Ogre. Ember Spirit has enough sustain, 1.5k. Well, he has Radiance queued up right now.
Whoop. And jumping right back and away from that Tavo Omni Knight. Yeah, you're right. Radiance is going to be next up for him.
Double
But
damage.
not looking to let up the pressure at all. After SG have taken down the final outer tower there in the bottom lane, they drop a couple of deep planted wards here. And maybe after getting a bit of intel that MP are hanging down the bottom half of the map, this is their chance to kind of quickly move in for the Roche, get that Aegis, and then continue this pace. Keep it up. MP are using the best to use the other side of the map and continue their farming game, but eventually they're going to have to square off against SG, and MP are going to have to hope that they have enough going for themselves so they can have a good fight.
Yeah, if you check Fata's build right now, it's Maelstrom queued up,
Okay.
so yeah, that's why I'm called the prediction god, or sense god.
Well done, sir.
Radiant's
Maelstrom
bottom
definitely
tower
feels a
is
bit
under
more
attack.
appropriate, and the adjustment has been made, but SG have already made their move. They spotted out Envy here. He's getting locked inside, and he can't seem to leap away from anything. Completely shut down within the trees. He is gone.
Radiant's
They will
bottom
be able to get the
tower has
tower
fallen.
down, but SG get their nice pick, and the rest of MP scurry to make it away. ADR stalking a bit, but him alone not going to be able to do anything to MSS.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, Fata right now, if they try to dodge more fights and don't need to defend that tier 3 towers, Fata can still change for Radiance again, but he's not.
But he just picked up the Maelstrom, and it looks like he
Yes.
will be committing to that. I don't know if that means that they feel like they're not going to get the time granted for going for the Radiance. Maybe just more, we need to relieve the pressure that SG is putting on us right now. Still hang out like sharks just outside the front doors here of MP. And MP are going to have to begin to get ready to flex their high ground muscles here. Let's see what SG can do to siege away here. HFN is going to be their Aegis holder on the Weaver, and he begins sieging away from the low ground. Of course, has that Dragon Lance, so has the extra range to work with on sieging. But it's a slow and steady siege for now.
Well, we were talking about towers and those battle points battle pass levels. Look at it now, it's so unfair when tower has a bloodlust.
It's a big, dark-ass Lord of the Rings tower.
Tower,
Yeah. It's like something the Legion of Doom would do inside. Okay, here's a bunch of trouble on the HFN, but he's still good. So many heals continue to fly out here. You know, Tavo just gives him the repel, and then follows it up
Radiant's
with the
middle
heal,
tower
and
is under attack.
HFN can continue to kind of go to work. But it's not even a full defense inside of MP's base at the moment. MV is here in the mid lane, pushing. Fots is there at the
Radiant's
top.
middle
Curious
tower
if
is under
SG
attack.
are just going to spring into action and go while the cores are not there. And at that moment is actually when they do decide to commit on in, and they blast apart and take out Pi.
Radiant's top
No
tower is
rocket to
under
be for this
attack.
fight. Freezing Field coming out.
Radiant's middle
MSS
tower
goes in,
is falling.
and he goes out just like that. He had no borrowed time to fall back on, and SG have already taken out 2 MP members from this defense. A buyback is going to be necessary. A Chrono comes out, beautifully catches 2, but there goes the Guardian Angel coming out now from Tavo, and SG holds strong. Looking to fend off MP, they push themselves back into the high ground here. Tavo could be in a bit of trouble, dishes out the self-heal. A beautiful stun, does manage to fly out from the Monkey King and connects across the team of MP. They get forced back a bit, and now they look to engage. MP considering walking out the front door, hoping to go for a finish on ADR, who now gets hit with the repel. He heads back into the high ground, HFN very low, but ADR lights up Fata and takes him out. He's going to be out of this one nearly a minute unless he decides to buy back.
Radiant's
SG
middle
want to
tower
keep up
is under
this
attack.
pressure. They could force that buyback out. It looks like King RD has stepped back to the secret shop, but the rest of the team is kind of still here. There's HFN with that repel, continuing to go to work. They want this tier 3 that opens up the options to claim more money and go for those shrines. But MP are making it work for it, and they're not even able to pressure the buyback, it looks like.
They need to back out right now. Omni Knight has no mana, even with Arcane Aura and mana boots. They need to back.
Money to burn.
Wow, that was a really long-winded sieging there from SG. They don't even get to walk away with the tier 3, but do you think that they did enough? Would you have liked them to be able to do more?
They've done enough. There's still Aegis up. There was a Chrono. Envy needs to catch Omni Knight in a Chrono if they want to actually kill someone. Omni Knight was doing God's work in that fight, just giving Guardian Angel to Lina, 1 heal, plus repel. They couldn't take her down.
MP will be granted more time to farm up. Oh, I say that, but
Dire's
look who's already back
structures
inside
are
that bottom lane. It's HFN once again, using the last
Radiant's
few
top
moments
tower
of this
is under
Aegis
attack.
if he's got to.
Dire's bottom tower
Now
has
squaring
fallen.
up against MSS. This man's going to need some help, or he's going to be dishing out an early borrowed time, and he does. HFN goes right to work instead onto the racks. Tabo's still there. Where's Envy at? He needs 5 more seconds before Chrono's going to be up. And HFN is still going to work. He has that Aegis. I don't know how much longer he's going to have it for, though. They go for the chains. They're looking to spot out the back lines. It's going to be the Monkey King there. Connects with a nice little stun, and they're going to force the pop of the Aegis here from Weaver. Chrono immediately on his second life. Can they burst him down? The Rock's going to also get dropped. Looking to go for ADR. Coming in from the side. They do finish the Weaver. Freezing Field comes out as Tabo looks to get in the action. HFN buys back and time lapses into the fight. Looking to get the finish onto MP. They take out MSS, but they're stuck within an upheaval here. Envy very low on life and mana. Can't get back in and trade. HFN is going to be able to quickly finish up another one, making it a triple kill for himself. Pi is going to be taken out. Fata's back in action, pops his blade mail, goes for the slight, comes back now, dishing out the chains, but he is overpowered. HFN gets the ultra kill, and they are going to get the full finish there. Envy the only survivor. It's going to be NP who lose their bottom racks. Not tapping out though. SG continue to go to work, Lacoste, and they segue themselves now to the mid lane to make an effort onto the tier 3. A buyback's going to be forced out from Owie now. Envy steps in, dishes out the time dilation. No more Aegis here. Oh, but Envy caught himself into a frostbite and quickly gets handled. He is out of this one, and the game is over, Lacoste. We are going to a game 3.
This is the SG we want to see. This is the SG. Everyone wants this. Their team fight potential in the last fight. MP committed everything they had on that Weaver, who did such a good job buying back using time lapse, scoring a triple kill, and they had nothing else to fight with. Ember Spirit died, bought back, get in the fight again, got rooted by Crystal Maiden, died again, and that was the end. For the team NP, SG really looking strong. I was talking about the picks during the pick phase, what they need for their last hero. This is exactly what they needed. This was the really genius pick. I slipped it, but that's why this guy is smarter than me. He actually knows what he's doing. So.
Man, that Tabo Omni Knight was really something special that game. MVP in my case, by far. But overall, a strong performance from SG. They took it to NP, playing that grittier kind of a game and just pressured out. They were taking tower after tower after tower, and with Omni Knight itemizing appropriately with the early pipe, it just made it way too tough for MP. Fata, unfortunately, a couple of missteps, flub ups, brain farts, I don't know what you call them, but it cost him a bit in the early game. So MP are going to have to shake things up a bit, Lacoste, but this is it, man. It's going to be a Game 3 hype. We're going to be cutting to a break now. Show some love. I'm Dakota, that's Lacoste, and we'll be back for more Summit 7 American Qualifier. You shut up over there. You stop laughing while I'm trying to do my toss out here. I love you. Anyways, okay, guys, we'll be back. It's going to be Game 3 of both SG and MP. See you soon.